good evening, or maybe it's morning where you are. I'm your storyteller, and tonight my mission is simple: to guide you into another world, where your worries fade and sleep comes softly, without you even noticing. Before we begin this journey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me where you're watching from, and what time it is for you. I'd love to know. Now find a comfortable position, close your eyes if you'd like, and let me tell you a story. My name is Ethan Caldwell, and I'm 27 years old, living in Flint, Michigan with my 10-year-old brother Noah. Our parents died in a car accident 2 years ago, and I've been his guardian ever since. I always wanted to be a software engineer, building apps that could change the world. But life had other plans. Bills don't wait for dreams, so I took a job delivering pizzas for Mama Rosa's, a hole-in-the-wall joint on Flint's south side. It's grueling, driving through sketchy neighborhoods until 1 a.m. But it keeps Noah fed and the heat on. Still, last August, something happened on a delivery run that's left me looking over my shoulder ever since. It was a sweltering Tuesday night, August 9th, the kind of Midwest heat that clings to your skin like a damp towel. I was halfway through my shift, the smell of pepperoni and exhaust thick in my beat-up Toyota Corolla. Around 10 p.m., an order came in: 2 large sausage pizzas and a side of garlic knots, headed to 1427 Sycamore Lane, a quiet street lined with sagging Victorian houses and overgrown oaks. The area was known for its eerie stillness, the kind where streetlights flicker and dogs stop barking after dark. I scribbled the address, tossed the food in the passenger seat, and hit the road. The drive was uneventful, but as I pulled onto Sycamore Lane, a chill crawled up my spine despite the heat. The house at 1427 was a hulking 2-story relic, its paint peeling like dead skin. No lights glowed from the windows, just a single porch bulb stuttering like it was on its last breath. I grabbed the delivery bag, my sneakers crunching on the cracked driveway, and knocked. Silence. I knocked again, louder, calling, "Mama Rosa's delivery." My voice echoed, swallowed by the heavy air. Finally, a low voice rasped from behind the door. "Hang on." It sounded strained, like the speaker was out of breath or nervous. The door creaked open just enough for a hand to slip through, a bony, pale hand clutching crumpled bills. I caught a glimpse of a man's face, half hidden by a black hoodie. His eyes were sunken, glinting with something I couldn't place. Hunger, maybe, or fear. He snatched the pizzas and knots, muttered, "Keep the change," and slammed the door. I heard a chain lock slide into place, the sound sharp against the night's quiet. I stood there, heart thudding, unsure why I felt so rattled. The guy was weird, sure, but I'd dealt with odd customers before. I pocketed the cash, a $10 tip, generous for Flint, and drove back to the shop, trying to shake the unease. But that night, as I lay in bed, Noah snoring softly in the next room, I couldn't stop picturing those eyes, like they'd seen something I hadn't. The next night, Wednesday, another order came in around 9:30 p.m. Same address, same order, 2 sausage pizzas, garlic knots. My coworker Jake grinned and said, "Looks like you've got a fan, Ethan." I forced a laugh, but my stomach twisted. Why would someone order the same thing 2 nights in a row? I drove back to Sycamore Lane, the street even darker now, the oaks casting claw-like shadows under the moon. The house looked lifeless, not even the porch light on this time. just a faint blue flicker from a TV deep inside. I knocked, my breath shallow. Footsteps shuffled inside, slow and deliberate. The door cracked open, and there he was again, the hoodie guy. His face was still shadowed, but I swore his lips curled into a faint smirk. He handed me exact change, no tip, and took the food without a word. The door shut, and that chain lock slid again, louder this time. I hurried to my car, glancing back, half expecting to see him watching from a window. Nothing. Just darkness. Driving away, I noticed something in my rearview mirror. A figure standing under a streetlight, motionless, wearing a black hoodie. My heart lurched. Was it him? I sped up, telling myself it was just a neighbor, but the image stuck with me. Over the next few days, that figure kept appearing. I'd see it at a gas station, lingering by the pumps, or on a corner as I made deliveries, always turning away when I looked too long. My mind screamed coincidence, but my gut whispered something worse. By Sunday, August 14th, I was a wreck. Noah noticed, asking why I kept checking the locks at home. I brushed it off, not wanting to scare him. That night, around 11 p.m., the phone at Mama Rosa's rang. Another order for 1427 Sycamore Lane. Same damn order. My hand shook as I wrote it down. Jake offered to take it, but we were slammed and I didn't want to look weak. "I've got it," I said, my voice hollow. The house was a black void when I arrived, not a single light. The air felt thicker, like it was pressing against my chest. I stepped onto the porch, the wood creaking underfoot, and knocked. Nothing. I called out, "Mama Rosa's!" My voice sounded small, swallowed by the night. I was about to leave when I heard it, a low rhythmic tapping from inside, like fingers drumming on glass. My blood ran cold. I knocked again, softer, praying no one would answer. Then footsteps. Not from inside, but behind me. Gravel crunched in the driveway. I spun around, and there he was. The hoodie guy, standing maybe 10 feet away, his face hidden in shadow. He was closer than I'd ever seen him. Close enough to smell the sour tang of sweat and cigarettes. "You're alone, aren't you?" he said, his voice low, almost a growl. Before I could answer, he pulled a knife, its blade catching the moonlight. Time slowed. My heart pounded so hard I thought it'd burst. "Take it easy, man," I stammered, raising my hands. "Whatever you want, just take it." He stepped closer, the knife glinting. "Empty your pockets." I fumbled for my wallet and phone, hands trembling so bad I nearly dropped them. He snatched both, then lunged. I jerked back, but the blade grazed my forearm, a hot sting followed by warm blood trickling down. I gasped, clutching the pizza bag like a shield. "Don't follow me," he hissed, his eyes locking onto mine. They weren't tired or hungry now. They were wild, like an animal's. He bolted into the shadows between the houses, gone in seconds. I stood frozen, pain searing my arm until my survival instincts kicked in. I stumbled to my car, locked the doors, and sped back to Mama Rosa's, blood soaking my sleeve. Jake's jaw dropped when he saw me. I called 911 from the shop's phone, my voice shaking as I explained. The cops arrived fast, their flashlights sweeping the store. They checked 1427 Sycamore Lane and found it abandoned, the windows boarded up, the interior gutted. A neighbor said squatters had been sneaking in at night, but no one ever got a good look. My arm needed 6 stitches, and I spent the night at the hospital, Noah clinging to me, terrified. The police never found the guy. My wallet and phone were gone, my cards canceled, but the real theft was my sense of safety. Weeks later, I pieced it together. He must have targeted me that first night, saw I was young, alone, an easy mark. The repeat orders were a trap, luring me back to that desolate street. I kept imagining him watching me, memorizing my routes, maybe even calling from a burner phone. The worst part, I found a crumpled note in my car a month later, tucked under the seat. Just one word scrawled in black ink: alone. I burned it, but I still check my mirrors every night. I'm back in community college now, taking coding classes online, determined to get Noah and me out of Flint. But every time I drive past Sycamore Lane, I feel those eyes again, watching from the dark, waiting for me to be alone. I'm Lucas Bennett, 30 years old, a data analyst at a sleepy accounting firm in Columbus, Ohio. I've always been the guy who stays calm, the one who doesn't flinch at creaky floors or flickering lights. But last November, something changed. The office, a bland concrete box in a sprawling industrial park, became a place I dreaded. It wasn't the endless spreadsheets or the hum of fluorescent lights, it was him. The man in the red hoodie who seemed to know exactly when I was alone. Our office is the kind you'd miss if you blinked. Gray walls, beige carpet, a parking lot that feels like it stretches into nowhere. I loved working late, though. After 6 p.m., the chatter died down and I could blast my playlists and churn through reports. My wife, Sarah, didn't mind. She'd text me to come home, but she knew I got in the zone. That all changed one chilly Friday, November 3rd, when the silence I loved turned suffocating. I'd been at my desk since 7 a.m., eyes burning from staring at numbers. By 8 p.m., the office was a ghost town. I needed a break, so I grabbed my jacket and stepped into the parking lot. The air was crisp, the sky a bruised purple threatening snow. I leaned against my Subaru, sipping a soda, when I felt it. A prickle on the back of my neck, like someone was staring. I scanned the lot, expecting a coworker or maybe a security guard. Nothing. Just rows of cars under flickering sodium lamps. Then at the far edge I saw it. A figure, tall and still, wearing a red hoodie, the hood pulled low. He was too far to see his face, but he was facing me, unmoving. My stomach dropped. Was it a trick of the light? Exhaustion? I squinted, but he didn't budge. I waved, hoping he'd wave back, prove he was just some guy waiting for a ride. He didn't. He just stood there, a statue in the gloom. I shook it off, chalking it up to too many late nights, and went back inside. But the image lingered like a smudge on a lens. Monday came and I was back at it, staying late again. Around 9 p.m., I headed to the break room for coffee. The hallway lights were on a timer, dimming after hours, casting long shadows. The break room smelled of burnt coffee, the pot still warm, which was odd. No one else was here. I poured a cup, ignoring the unease creeping up my spine, and headed back. That's when I saw him. At the end of the hall, maybe 50 feet away, the red hoodie guy leaned against the wall, hands in his pockets. My breath caught. He didn't move, didn't speak, just watched me. "Hey!" I called, my voice sharper than I meant. "You need something?" No answer. I took a step forward, heart racing, and he slipped around the corner, silent as a ghost. I froze, debating whether to follow. Every horror movie I'd ever seen screamed no. So I backtracked to my desk, grabbed my laptop, and left. The lot was empty, no sign of him, but I drove home with my doors locked. checking my mirrors. The next few days were torture. I started noticing things. A chair moved slightly, a sticky note on my monitor with a smudged fingerprint, a faint scuff on the carpet by my desk. My boss, Karen, asked if I'd been in the file room. Someone had left. Folders scattered. I hadn't, but I didn't say anything, afraid I'd sound paranoid. I tried leaving earlier, but deadlines piled up, and by Wednesday, November 8th, I was alone again. The office dark except for my desk lamp. I was deep in a report, earbuds blasting Metallica when I felt it again. That watched feeling. I yanked out my earbuds, spinning around. Nothing. My office door was open, the hallway beyond a black void. But there, taped to the doorframe, was a piece of paper. My pulse thundered as I approached. Scrawled in red marker was one word. Stay. I ripped it down, my hands shaking. A prank? A threat? I didn't care. I shut down my computer, grabbed my keys, and bolted. In the lot, I scanned for him, half expecting that red hoodie under every lamp. I got in my car, locked it, and peeled out. But in my rearview mirror, there he was, standing on the curb maybe 20 feet back, lit by my taillights. His head tilted slightly like he was studying me. I floored it, my heart in my throat, and didn't stop until I was home, Sarah's arms around me as I tried to explain. I thought it was over, that he'd gotten his kicks and moved on. But a week later, I stopped at a 7-Eleven for gas. As I walked out, coffee in hand, I saw him, same red hoodie, leaning against the building, face hidden. My keys slipped from my fingers, clattering on the pavement. I scrambled to pick them up, and when I looked again, he was gone. That night, my phone rang at 2 a.m., unknown number. I answered, hearing only static, then a faint, deliberate breath. Stay, a voice whispered before the line went dead. I told my boss I wouldn't stay late anymore. I didn't care if it hurt my promotion chances. Sarah begged me to quit, but we need the money. No one else at work has seen him, which makes it worse. Like he's chosen me. Like he knows when I'm vulnerable. I keep a bat in my car now, and I check the office locks twice before leaving. But every night I wonder if he's out there waiting for me to stay too long. I'm Nathan Hayes, 34, a single dad to my 7-year-old daughter Lily, living in Akron, Ohio. I work as a network administrator for a marketing firm, a job that lets me work from home most nights so I can be there for Lily. Our little house is our sanctuary, a place of bedtime stories and crayon drawings. But on the night of June 12, 2024, that sanctuary was shattered, and I learned the hard way that kindness can be a trap. Lily's mom left when she was 2, so it's just us. My job is demanding, but working remotely means I can tuck Lily in and still meet deadlines. My desk is in our bedroom, a cozy space with a dim overhead light and a small lamp that casts soft shadows. Lily sleeps in a twin bed a few feet away, her stuffed bunny clutched tight. That night, I was racing to finish a server audit, the clock ticking past 11 p.m. Lily was fast asleep, her breath steady, when a loud knock jolted me. It was sharp, urgent, coming from the front door. My first thought was a neighbor, maybe Mrs. Carter locked herself out again. But it was late and the knocking didn't stop. I pulled up my doorbell camera app, my stomach tightening. On the screen was a girl, maybe 16, her face pale, hair plastered to her forehead like she'd been caught in the rain. She was shivering, glancing behind her, her eyes wide with panic. I spoke through the camera. "Hey, you okay?" Her voice cracked, barely a whisper. "Please, someone's following me. I've been running for blocks. I need help." My heart clenched. She looked terrified, like a kid in over her head. I hesitated, but Lily's soft snores reminded me of the world I wanted her to grow up in. One where people help each other. I ran downstairs, peeked through the peephole, and saw only her, no one else. I opened the door a crack, chain lock still on. "What's going on?" I asked. She stumbled forward, nearly collapsing. "They're after me," she gasped. "Please, let me in." Against my better judgment, I undid the chain and let her inside, locking the door behind us. She was shaking, her hoodie soaked, her eyes darting to the windows. I guided her to the couch, keeping my voice calm. "You're safe now. Want some water?" She shook her head, clutching her knees, staring at the door. Before I could ask her name, a new sound froze me, pounding on the door so hard the frame rattled. I grabbed my phone, pulling up the camera again. 3 men stood on my porch, all in dark jackets, hoods up. One stepped forward, his voice loud through the speaker. "Open the door, man, we just need to talk." My blood ran cold. The girl whimpered, "That's them. Don't let them in." I kept my cool, speaking through the app. "You need to leave or I'm calling the cops." The pounding grew louder, their voices angrier. "Open it, or we'll break it down." The girl was trembling now, whispering, "They'll kill me." I was about to dial 911 when pain exploded in my skull. The world tilted, my phone slipping from my hand. The girl had grabbed a glass candle holder from the coffee table and smashed it against my head. I staggered, vision blurring, betrayal cutting deeper than the pain. She'd played me. As I sank to my knees, I heard the door unlock, the chain sliding free. The men stormed in, their boots heavy on the hardwood. I tried to shout, to fight, but my body wouldn't move. The last thing I saw was the girl's face, no longer scared but cold, calculating as she stepped over me. When I came to, the house was a nightmare. Furniture was overturned, drawers yanked out, Lily's drawings scattered like confetti. My head throbbed, blood matting my hair. The front door hung open, letting in a damp breeze. Panic surged. "Lily?" I stumbled upstairs, my legs barely holding me, and found her still asleep, unharmed. I sobbed, pulling her close, her sleepy confusion breaking my heart. I called the police, my voice hoarse as I explained. They arrived in minutes, their flashlights sweeping the wreckage. My laptop, Lily's tablet, my watch, gone. Drawers had been rifled through, papers strewn everywhere. The cops took my statement, their faces grim when I described the girl. "Sounds like the lost lamb scam," one said. "A kid pretends to need help, gets inside and her crew cleans you out. Been hitting Akron for months." They searched the house, found no trace of the intruders. The girl's face haunted me. Those wide, terrified eyes, all an act. The police said victims rarely got hurt badly, but that didn't ease the violation. My home, my safe place, had been gutted. Lily clung to me for weeks, afraid to sleep alone. I installed new locks, a better security system, but it wasn't enough. Every creak in the house, every shadow outside made me jump. A month later, I found a photo in my mailbox. It was me standing in my driveway, taken from across the street. On the back, in neat handwriting, "Thanks for the help." I burned it, but I still hear her voice, that fake tremble, and I wonder if she's out there, picking her next mark, waiting for another fool to open the door.